Hi, thanks for joining us today on Shining Stars in South Florida Business. I'm your host, Danny Poulos. Our very special guest today is Ed Dejesus from Edwards Air Enterprise right here in Jupiter, Florida. He's sort of been a mainstay in Jupiter in the air conditioning business. So we're going to learn a lot today. So Ed, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you.
And tell everybody a little bit about your business.
Well, we actually do quite a few things. We do maintenance, we do air conditioning change-outs or changing out an air conditioning system. We also have maintenance plans. We have quite a bit that we do. We do commercial, residential.
How long have you been doing it?
Been doing it for almost 30 years now, about 27 years.
30 years. You look awfully young. When you
Yeah, I started in high school.
That's
Started in high
fantastic.
school. I was actually one of the youngest contractors in the state of Florida.
Okay, so you had to take the test way back then. I bet.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Have things changed since then? You have to get retested and retested?
Well, every 2 years we have to go for requalifications, which is basically just going back to school for different things that
Gotcha.
come up and codes and all that stuff.
So we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about licensing and qualifications and how important it is when you're looking for an air conditioning company. So, being here in South Florida, we've all run into it if you've lived here, especially homeowners, working with service people and contractors. There's a lot of people just operating out of the back of their truck, I know,
Absolutely.
that seem to have the lowest prices but generate the biggest nightmares.
Yes.
Tell us how you're different than that guy.
Well, we are licensed and insured, which is the biggest portion of the issue that they would run into. As far as the licensing and insurance, that does bring costs up as far as being in
Sure.
business. But the nice thing is that if anything were to happen to one of my techs in your house, they would be covered under my policy, which is way better, much better than getting sued
Right.
for somebody getting hurt in your house and not having the insurances.
But there's also legal issues involved. To do what you do, you've got to be a licensed air conditioning contractor, correct?
Yes, yeah. The biggest portion of the problem there is there are unlicensed contractors that are out there, and what can happen is if you're using an unlicensed contractor, you can wind up being liable, and the contractor or the unlicensed person can wind up going to jail. So it can wind up costing you a lot more money than what you anticipated in the job.
So don't miss that. If you think just because someone's coming in and giving you a low price and the risk is theirs, wrong. The risk is really all yours. You can be fined for even hiring the unlicensed contractor, and then if they don't have the proper insurances, anything that happens on your house is also your problem, not theirs.
Yeah, that's a big issue.
So how do you protect yourself?
Well, you would want to check their licensing credentials, and you'd also want to ask them for certificates of insurance. Any contractor in the state of Florida that has more than one employee needs to have workers' compensation.
Right.
So, that's the biggest issue right there, because if they do get hurt in your house and they don't have a workers' comp policy, they're going to be coming after you. They're going to be coming after your homeowner's insurance. Oh, yeah, and it happens a lot. So the biggest way to check, or the easiest way to check, is ask them for their license. Make sure that their license has their company name, their name, as well as their insurances. There's a certificate that can be produced by their insurance company that has you as a certificate holder, and this way, if anything does happen, you're covered.
Listen, and any responsible business owner in your field has that stuff, and you're not going to have to ask for it.
Exactly.
You're going to see it. They're going to be showing it to you. Let's talk a little bit about the structure of your company. I know there's a lot of air conditioning chains and franchises around here. I don't know if you're always dealing with the right person with some of the biggest companies, from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Tell us how it works when someone wants to do business with you.
Well, what we do is they'll call in and say if you're changing out an air conditioning system, they're going to call in for an estimate. What's going to happen is the office is going to contact me, or I may even be taking the phone call, and then I'll actually go out, measure everything, talk with you, go over all the options, and this way you have an education on air conditioning. A lot of times, homeowners will tell me a company just came in, and within 5 minutes they gave them a price, and they didn't understand anything that they were buying. They didn't understand warranties or anything like that. So I try and make it more of an educational session, sitting there with the homeowner, and this way if you have questions, you're going to get them answered, and you can make a better buying decision.
So I'm assuming that the difference may be, if you're dealing with a large corporation or franchise situation, that the person you talk to up front, probably a technician, but may not even be maybe a salesperson. And here's what he sent in to sell the homeowner,
Exactly.
right?
And the latest thing that they've been doing now for the past couple of years is they're actually sending sales texts. So what happens is you get some guy out to your house who may have had a class, and he may have only been into business now for 6 months or a year, and now he's trying to sell air conditioning systems, and he is actually trained in sales. So that's happening about, I would say, probably 80% of the time with these larger companies. So you really want to protect yourself and be careful and make sure that you get the right system, make sure you don't pay too much, so best to check things out.
Right. So, I mean, the bottom line here is when you're dealing with Edwards Air, you're dealing with Mr. Edwards. Dejesus, but I'm saying, he's the owner. Okay, so from top to bottom, it's not where someone could say, well, that's not what I was told, or the salesman said this, or that's not what I was promised.
Exactly.
When you're dealing with Ed, that's it. You're from top to bottom, you're going to get what you ask for. You can do something weird with the way you run your specials. Tell them about that.
We have an inventory clearance sale that we run around this time of the year. Most companies will run an inventory clearance sale when you don't need it. We try and put it together so that you actually have it when you need it, and this way you can take advantage of discounts. Not only that, but you get, in some cases, some longer warranties, plus there's rebates that are available in the time frames as well. So you can get a really good deal on an AC system and save, thousands of dollars.
Right, so the difference is most people are going to give you the special at the end of the season with what they have left. If you want to plan ahead before it gets hot, your specials run before the season starts.
Yes.
That's good to know. So most important thing to know is how you reach Edwards Air so that you can anticipate your problems rather than wait till there's an emergency. So Ed, tell them how to reach you best.
Well, best way to reach us is by phone, or you can reach us by email. Our phone number is 57561. Oh boy.
That's all right.
It's 561-747-5795. The email address that you would get us at would be edwardsair01@gmail.com, and I'm sure we'll have some, little snippets at the bottom or something like that.
Well, don't worry, because the number's going to be right here behind us when they watch this.
All right.
Ed, thanks so much for coming in today. It's been a pleasure. He's a shining star in South Florida business.